Alrighty, hi guys. So we are back with another game. Alright, so 2 uploads in one day. Maybe, well, I mean, probably not, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Adventure, but we have Excelgor versus Sakri for the UULT, and right now, I believe Sakri is up 1-0. They played a game on Friday, which I had to miss because I work, and that's just how life is. Sorry, but, we are seeing a balance from both ends. One a little more prepped for Clefable than the other, which is just kind of how these teams are built around nowadays. The fact that Hippowdon switched out of Clefable is interesting, because usually they at least have the Whirlwind to deter it somewhat, but that is not the case here. Still, both of these are looking pretty prototypical from both users. The potential of a Calm Mind Latias, while slightly unorthodox on this team, it might want Hazard Control. It really doesn't need it, though. Does seem like it could press Excelgor's team a bit, as his answers to Psychics and his answers to Dragons are both not super sufficient in handling a CM Latias. He can kind of get away with like throwing Wisps out at it via Mew, but who's to say? Ugh. And did Clefable show Stealth Rock? I have to, unfortunately, scroll up as I missed the first few turns. Sorry, my friends. Yeah, that is a Stealth Rock and Clefable, so hopefully a Taunting Mew, because Stealth Rock Mew is hot garbage. And, that said, the fact that he switched out with Mew is unlike it. We do finally get Excelgor throwing the Clear Smog, and looking at the greater scheme of things, I think that Excelgor's best shot at winning will be that Gliscor. He can press some important facets with the important facets for checking the Gliscor to an extent, with his Volcanions, trying to throw Steam Eruption Burns at his Keldeo and his Latias, and thereafter using that somewhat leeway to set up his Gliscor. They're forced to heal up a little more liberally in the case of Keldeo, just generally be put on a timer and not be able to aggressively push its agenda. And with him taking the Stun Spore with Amoonguss, which is a good play, he is no longer forced to take Scald Burns via that Spec Keldeo, so it's put at a position where it actually has to predict things rather than just, throw Scalds as you do, because I don't think that he would be risking his Volcanion into Keldeo in most cases. Oh wait, it does have... I'm not sure why Hippowdon switched out of the Clefable then. Odd. However, Hippowdon, decent check here if it brings in anything. I'm not sure what this third move, or fourth move rather, on Mew is, because it has not been showing Taunt, but neither has it been showing anything else. Oh, it's probably Defog. Ugh. Another said, I'm not a huge fan. If it doesn't consolidate wins, it just... Defog is just a bad move. I mean, it's a necessary move, but it's not a good move. And, I'm not sure if he needs Stealth Rock more than Sakri right now, which is something odd for me. And I think that it would be better to defog here, honestly, because it forces Hippowdon to do other things in its spare turns other than try to Whirlwind away a Gliscor or what have you. And that would put more pressure on Sakri to bring in that Keldeo to aggressively check it, but what am I to say? Alright, so he does go for Swords Dance. Not an awful play at all. It does force the Keldeo to come in, but that's not necessarily bad. He does have the Amoonguss, which is, without that, a safe switch in. That is Specs damage. Well, I mean, it was clearly going to be Specs on a team like this, and from what it's been showing, but that just prompts him to go into something else. And he chooses Volcanion, trying to press things. It just showed left. Ooh. Maybe it's a sub-protect, or a Protox variant, which would be interesting, or it's just, protect 3 attacks, both of which are feasible. Oh, and yes, I was right. So good at Pokemon. So Toxic, not something Sakura is expecting, I'm sure, but still something that is threatening to him nonetheless. Still, putting this Raikou on a timer, as much as it hurts a lot of people, does not mean that much. Oh, I would have gone for the T-Bolt again there, I think. Because he does need that Amoonguss really badly, and for that reason, he would have been pretty at liberty to double T-Bolt just to force the issue. I think that he could probably go about sacking something, because, alright, he does go to Amoonguss, which, while not bad, I don't think I would have, risked extra damage on it, personally. And this is Life Orb Latios, so, You commonly don't see Life Orb on Calm Mind variants, at least with something like this, where it is a slower team and you need it switching into Keldeos multiple times in a game, because you got the Hippo, you got the Scizor, the pacing of the team is all generally not that high. But knock off Clefable into the Scizor, it's not going to affect much, honestly, but it does just force the Scizor to throw away spare turns, and that Toxmiss is lame, because as I was saying, this Volcanion setting up the Gliscor was the main thing, and if he had gotten that off, that was exactly what he wants to win with. And that Draco Meteor does KO. It does force a window for Excelgor to potentially take advantage of, though, because how he's going to do that, I'm not sure, though, honestly. With Clefable showing that it's knockoff, and Jesus Christ, alright, Clefable used that knockoff Moonblast. Wait, did it show Calm Mind? Yeah, it did. Okay, so it is, in fact, Calm Mind knockoff. So it's not going to be getting enough traction in this game, unfortunately. And with this not being Taunt Mew, he might just not have the steam to get through this game. But this being Calm Mind T-Wave Clef, man, they aren't doing anything new with the Clefs. I swear, Calm Mind Ice Beam, or Calm Mind Blizzard, which I prefer on Clefable, because it's only getting 2 uses, and one is against this, one is against that, and both of them aren't getting broken that well by an Ice Beam, but are getting broken much better by a Blizzard. So I'd rather have Blizzard, but whatever, man. He's going for the Ice Beam, and he does go hard into Mew. I think that's a good play for sure, because, again, he's not getting enough value out of that, and while you can always say, oh yeah, I'll just pivot in with my Amoonguss and go from there, it's just not that easy most of the time. You have to ends up stacking, is what I'm trying to say, but he does end up sacking the Hippowdon there, and while it may not seem bad at first, that Sand Chip is going to be hurting that Clefable, because it needs to be healthy. Keldeo, more so than ever, is a Pokemon in this tier that plays off that defensive utility, and that is a nasty crit. What is he going to do about that? Because he... I don't think that Sakura can afford to sack this Keldeo. But at the same time, is it worth going for what might be a roll on this Amoonguss, depending on your spread? Because I know that Amoonguss can EV pretty easily to avoid the 3-hit KO from Hydro Pump, but it seems like an uncertainty at this point, especially with that being the damage that it did there. So, okay, he does sack the Mew, which ultimately, it's shitty defog, so it was doing nothing. And does just go for the Giga Drain. Okay, maybe that's fine. And I think that might not be HP Fire or Amoonguss. It doesn't really have to be on a team like this. It has... I mean, these kind of active scissor beaters are a little tough with this because there's so many conservative win conditions in this tier that focus on, oh, Pokemon X, Y, and Z check this, therefore I can set up my team to force those Pokemon to take chip. And Scissor's one of those Pokemon that can just prey on something on a team like this, for instance, where Stealth Rock Weak is their answer, or guy that has no recovery and kind of gets walled by certain things. Though he didn't bring Pokemon that wall with certain things, like a Slowbro. So it's interesting. I don't know if I'm totally on board with this Latias switch, because Latias is not actively responding to a Cobalion, especially if it showed Shock already. So I'm not sure. I'm also not sure why they're using Psyshock generally, because it just chunks a Blissey a bit more, whereas Alclafable or Bold right now, it just doesn't feel like a good choice to me, but I digress. Oh, it is HP Fire, so I guess a little extra assurance trying to get that lore value in there, which isn't bad on a team like this. And, oh, it's an AOA, and so that does make sense. Alright, nice. That might just be the game, because, frankly, doesn't... Alright, yeah, I think he's going to try to fish for Spadef drops, but yeah, that's game, I think. 2-hit KOs, whereas that can't break, and this is why someone should consider, to some extent, the Seed Bomb Amoonguss on a team like this. I'd say maybe, but, you know, Raikou is pretty anti-meta at this point. Still, I think this is a good game. Neither side played poorly, and I think that there were some moments that really put him behind, like that Toxic miss, which, if I'm recalling correctly, would have killed off that Latias the way it played. So that shifted the battle a bit, but nonetheless, it was a good game. I think that it was nice on both sides. I was a bit flustered, and I hope that that didn't affect my narration too adversely. But I hope you enjoyed, guys. And obviously, congrats to both players. Good luck to Sakura. And hopefully I can catch some more games on this, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, my friends. My friends, yes, my friends.